Live from Penn State's campus, this is Nittany Talk. I'm Mo Ray, and in today's episode, we are going to discuss interesting stories in a brand new segment, get real about what we really think of BeReal, and speak with Bellisario career counselor Bob Martin. Now, let's get to talking. Welcome back to Nittany Talk. My co-host Ashley Mascaro, Paloma Freund, and I will be discussing the most interesting stories from the past few days in a brand new segment we like to call 7 Stories in 7 Minutes. Okay, so let's talk about the first story. Rihanna is headlining Super Bowl 2023 in the halftime show. She announced her headlining in a very artistic way. She held up a football with a white background, and on it said, "Let's go." What do you guys think about it?
I think it's crazy and so cool that she just gave birth and she's already performing at the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
That's huge. I'm so excited to watch that.
I know, I can't wait. Like, I love her music. I feel like she's going to be a really good addition to this group of performers from the Super Bowl halftime shows. I think she's going to blow it out of the water, I think. I'm super, super excited.
I really like last year's though, too.
I loved when Eminem came on. It was
agree with
great.
that. Yeah.
It was so great.
And right here at Penn State, we are now 4-0,
Yeah.
and that comes after a win against Central Michigan this past weekend. We're also ranked 11th on the AP poll. What do you guys think?
I think it's crazy how we went from not even ranked to already at number 11 out of 25 in 4 weeks. Like, that's insane.
Yeah, I agree. You know, it wasn't their best game, but it was definitely,
Oh my
it was a
God.
win. And hopefully we come out
yeah.
of the bye week 5-0.
Yeah, I
excited.
think it's really good. I'm super
Excited for
excited
this
to see
week's
them.
game.
I know.
Oh, no, me too. I'm so excited. And then we have a bye week, and then we go into Michigan, and then Minnesota is white out.
I know.
And then we've got Ohio State. Like, we have such a large string of competitive
We
games
do.
coming up, and I'm so excited to see how everyone in the stadium reacts to the game. What do you guys think?
I think everyone's going to be so excited. I know you guys are freshmen, but like whiteout in past years has been absolutely insane.
Yeah.
So I'm so excited for you guys to experience it.
I think it's going to be great.
Yeah.
Yeah. So excited. So Zach Estrin just passed away. He was 51 years old, and he passed away of cardiac arrest. Like, it's tragic. I mean, what do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think it's so weird. Like, they don't know what's going on. He just collapsed while jogging on the beach. It's real crazy. Paloma, what do you think?
I think it's just so crazy how like a lot of times like celebrity deaths are like that.
Yeah.
You don't really know what happened, and they just die in the oddest ways.
Yeah.
I mean, even like Elvis Presley, him dying from what? Like,
Yeah.
I know.
it's not, people to this day can't even, like, they say it was, constipation. Other people say it was drugs. It's like there's just so many, it's always such sketchy deaths, I feel. Like, he just
Yeah.
collapsed on a beach.
I
How do you
know.
just collapse on a beach?
Yeah.
How
Like,
does that happen?
I mean, he was a part of so many things, like Lost in Space, Prison Break, Charmed, like all of this
Loved
stuff.
Prison Break.
Yeah.
I know. I heard it's so good.
And
but,
as
like,
we are
it's gonna be
talking about
awful.
space, well, in order to prepare for Doomsday, NASA has now, and successfully they launched a rocket into an asteroid and hit it. This happened during a defense test, so we don't have to freak out. There wasn't an asteroid headed to our planet, but now we are prepared for when that time comes.
No, I definitely think it's honestly really crazy. I haven't seen anything like this happen so far in my lifetime. And seeing that, I'm kind of thinking, are we supposed to be expecting something crazy?
I
Are we
know.
supposed to be
I was
preparing
thinking.
for the end of the world?
Why are we preparing for this right now? Like, what do they know that I don't know that they decided that this was the time to prepare?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's extremely shocking
Yes.
and crazy to me.
Terrifying.
And you know what's kind of crazier is that Amazon Prime is having its second Prime Day of the year, It's really crazy. They're saying that there's going to be a ton of holiday sales. What are you guys expecting from this?
I am so excited because I missed Prime Day this past year. I was in Florida and I was not able to go shopping because my parents were like, oh, we're going to go to the beach today. So I didn't get to go Prime shopping. So I finally get to make up for it. And I'm so excited.
I'm excited too because I don't think I went Prime shopping, but honestly, like I just completely forgot that it was happening. So maybe this time, since it's being announced and hyped up more, I'll actually remember, oh, it's Prime Day. Maybe I should go on Amazon. So that'll be fun.
I think this is a great thing that they're doing. I think it's really going to boost sales and just it's a really good thing for their company.
And sometimes it's not like you're saving that much money, but just the fact that it's Prime Day, you're like,
I know.
This is when I need to spend my money,
Yes.
even though you're really not saving that much.
Oh, for sure. It's crazy. Hurricane Ian is, I guess you could say, back. I mean, a new hurricane. It's crazy. I mean, my friends this morning have family in St. Petersburg, and they were watching the hurricane. And my friend got a call from her grandma and was like, the hurricane's here, we're all in shelter and stuff. I mean, what do you guys think? I mean, that's just tragic.
I think it's so crazy being up, we're in the East Coast. I feel like we haven't really experienced that like people in Florida have and stuff like that. Like to them, this is very routine. Meanwhile, I was just telling you guys, I remember Hurricane Sandy, like it was yesterday, and that was when I was 12. So already 10 years ago, this happened. And I remember the panic in my house. My mom thought that this was the start to the apocalypse, that we had to hide under the stairs, the ceiling was gonna fall, and a tree was gonna impale me to death. Like this woman had it, she was prepared, taped down the windows, nothing happened.
Yeah.
We literally experienced rain, but we were ready for it.
Yeah, no, it's kind of crazy that everyone is starting to prepare for it. But I feel like we should really end on a great note. And a police star, her name is Luna. She finally got to celebrate 38 saves in an 8-year career. And she spent her celebration with her handler on her first vacation on a beach. She was able to swim. She had a great time. It warms my heart.
That
What
is
are you guys
the
thinking?
cutest
I know.
thing.
Yeah.
It's insane. These dogs literally are able to save our lives.
I know.
And imagine the training that goes into it and how proud that pup must be
It's
of,
insane.
I did this, I endured the training, I saved lives, and now I can celebrate it.
Oh, yeah. I know my dogs love to swim, and they get so excited when they get to go in the pool. And I remember the first time they went in, they were just ecstatic, and I cannot even imagine how Luna was feeling, especially after feeling so accomplished and being praised so much. Like, that just had to have been the time of her life.
Yeah.
I mean, that's an incredible career, and she's a beautiful dog. I mean, her owner and the entire police department must be so proud of her.
Yes, they must be very proud.
Yeah, it's such a heartwarming story. Well, that concludes the end of 7 stories in 7 minutes. Stay tuned for our next segment where we get real about BeReal. For Nittany Talk, I'm El Ray.
BeReal is a really, really fun app. I think that it's like a great way to express what you're currently doing, and if you're with your friends, you can.
So after determining a student's interests, I want to make sure it's feasible, right? Sometimes there's still internships in the world of communications that are unpaid.
Welcome back to Nittany Talk. I'm El Ray, and as most people know, there's been an increase in a new social media app called BeReal. My co-hosts Ashley Mascaro, Jeremy Laguerre, and Alexis Boyle and I will give our opinion on the new app. So, Ashley, what's your first impression of BeReal?
Honestly, I think BeReal is a really, really fun app. I think that it's like a great way to express what you're currently doing, and if you're with your friends, you can. It's like, I feel like Snapchat, because you can send it to one person. This you can send to multiple people in just one try, and I think it's fun. It's like not tempting, but like addicting, because like as soon as the BeReal goes off, you're like, oh, time to BeReal. Like you quickly take the picture.
Agreed.
Alexis, what do you think?
I completely agree with you, honestly. Like, I find it so fun. The only thing is that, some people don't post right at the same moment, so it's not as real.
Sure.
But I feel like the whole idea is just smart. It's something that captures like a bare moment, no filters, just like a fun time. So, Jeremy, what do you think about it?
Yeah, I got a different perspective. So far, every time, so I downloaded the app 2 days ago, and so far, every time I've gotten a notification, it has been at an embarrassing moment. So the first day I had it, I was in the bathroom when my BeReal went off. So I was like, oh, I'm not gonna take a BeReal when I'm in the bathroom, you know what I mean? So I was in Willard, so I had to walk out into the hallway. I took a random BeReal of the Willard hallway, so that was a great BeReal. My second BeReal, I was in the locker room changing to get ready for the gym. So
my God.
also not a great moment, you know, to take a BeReal. But today, the third BeReal I've ever taken actually came at a pretty convenient time right before the segment the BeReal went off. So I got to take BeReal in the studio. So yeah.
Yeah, that was
that's
really good
awesome.
timing.
That was
Really
really
nice.
Really great timing,
It
yeah,
really,
exactly.
really was.
It was really nice. I think over the summer, most of my BeReals were taken at work. I was a lifeguard. So the BeReal would go off, and all of us guards, we would do funny poses around the pool. We would, grab funny props and be like, look at what we're doing over the summer. We're working at a pool, and it's kind of funny. But I really like how there's not a lot of pressure for having a certain amount of friends on it, or if there's someone you've met once, you're kind of able to be like, it's kind of, I know you. It's kind of cool to be like,
that
and
is
the
so
reactions,
true.
the reactions
Yeah.
are so fun. I know I had so much fun. I went to Europe this summer. I had a blast with BeReal, just taking pictures. It was so fun. My friends got to see it like in real time. It's just, I feel like it's a great way to just show what you're doing.
That's so true.
awesome.
It's like a low pressure, low stress app. You don't have no filters. You don't really have to think about the post before. Like every time I post, I just post whatever I'm in front of and then show my face. You don't really, no stress, no filter. You don't have to edit the photo or whatever. I really like that, and I really like how it's no likes, so you can't see it's not 100 likes or 50 likes or something, it's kind of just you actually see your friends' real reactions, and it makes you take a little photo of your actual reaction, a little thumbs up. I think that's really cool. So yeah.
I do too. I think the other social media apps is kind of like how Snapchat had their stories, then Instagram got stories, then Twitter did, then Facebook, and now it seems like TikTok has this new thing called Now. And no one does it. No one that I follow is just you have not taken your Now yet. And I'm like, what is this? Nobody talks about this. Nobody uses it. I think I don't know, because Twitter eventually deleted their stories. So I'm wondering if TikTok is eventually going to delete their Nows because no one's using it.
It's like a knockoff version of it. And it's just one of those kind of things where we all use BeReal, or most of us do. So we don't have the purpose to go and use another one.
And especially for me, I enjoy watching TikToks and scrolling in the middle of the night, oh my gosh, this is so funny, I'm gonna send this to my mom, it's relatable. But I don't feel like I'm gonna be the type of person who's gonna be like, oh, I have to take my Now.
I don't think I'm ever gonna take a Now. I don't like in general how all the social media apps try to blend into each other. Yeah, we have YouTube Shorts now. We have Instagram Reels. Every app's trying to be TikTok, and TikTok's trying to be BeReal now. I don't understand it. Every app should just have something and stick to it. You know what I mean?
I like BeReal for BeReal and those other apps for what they're there for.
And Now doesn't have a time. It's not 2 minutes left to get your Now.
So it just gives you the option?
Yeah, it's just you haven't taken your Now yet. And I'm like, this is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. I wonder if they're going to get rid of it like Twitter did with their stories.
Yeah.
They probably realized I'm just copying everyone else. It's dumb.
Yeah.
So, but I love BeReal. I think it's a great app. I think it's a great way to socialize. I love it.
Agreed.
I think it's nice.
Yeah. Well, that wraps up our discussion for today. Stay tuned to our last segment of the day with an interview with Bellisario career counselor Bob Martin. For Nittany Talk, I'm El Ray.
So after determining a student's interests, I want to make sure it's feasible, right? Sometimes there's still internships in the world of communications that are unpaid.
Hello, and welcome back to Nittany Talk. I'm Simone Skinner, and today I have the pleasure of sitting down with our guest, Bob Martin. Great to have you on our show.
Thanks, Simone. Appreciate you having me.
Yeah, so we're just going to get into it, just talk about a few questions about career advice, your role as a career advisor, so let's just have fun with it.
All right.
So to start off, can you describe your job here at Bellisario?
Well, as my LinkedIn profile says, building calm career dreams one dream at a time. So it's truly what we do. We try to take students from just an epiphany of what they think they may want to do, and build on that. Getting involved with clubs like Nittany Talk, and then taking that to the next level with hopefully an on-campus or a local internship, maybe back in their hometown area, and then taking it to where they geographically may want to be with their career.
Awesome, that's great. So to tie into that, is that kind of your favorite part of your job, or there's some other elements that, or in addition to that you want to elaborate on?
Yeah, I think I always say this, and I think Julie Miller, our manager of internships, would say the same thing. We've got two of the coolest jobs. We get to see you students have this idea, this goal, this dream, and watch it come true. I mean, it doesn't get more gratifying than that.
Awesome. So just to go into the early career success and internships, what are some ways that you help students achieve that type of success?
Well, the first thing we try to figure out is, what are your interests, right? It's tough when I have a student that comes in and maybe they're in their senior year and they haven't been able to prioritize their interests. And we find that sometimes spins our students' wheels because they're not sure which direction to go in. So the easiest thing to do is kind of just lay low, sit steady, and not take advantage of things. So the first thing we try to do is get them doing something as a first step. Get involved with a club. And then that could be the epiphany that makes them go, hey, I really like what I'm doing here. I want to grab the next rung.
Yeah, that's kind of the thing here with like Nittany Talk. I resonate with that a lot.
Sure.
And a lot of students here in Nittany Talk do too. So going into that epiphany or just that process of reaching it, what would you say are some of the challenges that you face along the way in addition to that?
So after determining a student's interests, I want to make sure it's feasible, right? Sometimes there's still internships in the world of communications that are unpaid. Luckily, when I started here many moons ago, the vast majority of internships in communications were unpaid. It's changed, almost flipped on its head. I'd say about 65% of internships are now paid and about 35% are unpaid. That's an educated guess on my part. But that helps, that students know that, hey, my first internship may be unpaid, but hopefully that second one is now moving in the right direction by getting compensated.
Yeah, so that kind of ties into my next question I was going to ask, just going into what is like the number one challenge that you face with helping students in the career advising part of Bellisario?
Yeah, I think it's acting on what we recommend. We have students that literally will listen intently and go out and do exactly what we tell them to do, and we see the response. It's usually extremely favorable, but we can't act for you, right? So when that student sits there and nods and says, "This sounds great. You just gave me the strategy I needed," and then doesn't act on it, it's a challenge. So, and when we see them back, we say, "Okay, what happened? Why didn't it work? Why did we sit idle?" So that's always the biggest challenge, is just getting that first step, making the move towards your goals.
Yeah. So just to follow up on that, I know it's not on my cards, but just out of curiosity, do you have a process for helping students build up that strategy in order to act on what they want in their goals?
Absolutely. So all you students know, you get all those email messages we send out, right? They're just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to the opportunities we hear about. So we've been doing that for over 2 decades. So our alumni know to send those internships and full-time jobs directly to us. You guys know as Bob Martin emails, but because they received them 15 years ago, 20 years ago. So, but that's just the tip of the iceberg. We have a database of over 4,500 different internship leads, and that's usually where we'll start. So once we know your interests and where you geographically want to be, we have the critical mass. We're able to give you 25, 30 leads that match up with your specific career interests. That's just from our database. And then, of course, we have other resources outside of that database that we can add to that.
Yeah, like events that are huge in Bellisario, I would assume.
Absolutely. So we have not 1, not 2, but 3 COM-specific internship career fairs. First one coming up, shameless plug here, on November 9th is our 5th anniversary of our COM Careers in the Capital event in Washington, D.C. So we welcome you and your entire studio crew here to attend, and all of your viewers. So we've kind of become the experts at these destination internship career fairs. That's our first one and our newest and smallest. And it's, of course, focused on the DC market, but we'll have recruiters that come from other areas that want to start that recruiting process early. Next one is on February 24th, jobexpo.com, playonwords.com, COMM for communications. Oh. Yes, and in our 24th year, that's our heritage event. It's in the Alumni Hall of the Hub. And then last but not least, it's our biggest Success in the City in New York City on March 24th. So if you can't remember dates, February 24th, Job Expo, March 24th, Success in the City.
All right. So I know I'm personally going to go to the New York one, you know
Excellent.
me. But just to circle back and talking about the media industry, what do you say, what does it look like specifically for Penn State Bellisario students? You touched on that a little bit, but could you clarify more in detail?
When it comes to how to pursue their career interests.
Yes.
Yeah. So once you have multiple internships under your belt, which we hope you do, and by the way, you're talking to the biggest advocate of postgraduate internships. I think that's really important that you have a foundation of skills and experience, but you have a clear vision of what you want to do. When it comes to that career search, one of the things we're going to take advantage of is that alumni database. We have one of the largest dues-paying alumni associations in the world. Don't think for a second we don't take advantage of that. And they want to pay it forward, right? We helped them perhaps land an internship or two when they were a student here. Hopefully maybe even help them find their job. So they want to pay it forward. So we take advantage of connecting our students to our alumni at all possible chances we can.
Awesome, that's so great. So just to circle back to just you as Bob Martin, so how would you say your previous experience or just career experience overall would help these students find these jobs or just build up confidence to act on that strategy like we've been discussing?
Yeah, when I was a student here before it was the Bellisario College of Communications, I thought I wanted to be a sportscaster. I got on the air, and by the age of 24, I was off the air. By my own choice. The main thing that really pulled me away from sticking on that path was the financial burden of that position. It didn't pay a lot. And I had school loans, I had other expenses, and I said, look, I want to stay in broadcasting, so I shifted more to the business side. And one of the things I try to get our students thinking about is their careers in chapters, right? Let's focus on that first chapter. Let's not look too far down the road. We hear that from a lot of parents that my son needs to figure out what he's going to do with the rest of his life, or they're always thinking long term, and we try to narrow that back down, and we find that really lifts a lot of anxiety out of our students' minds when we just think about it from, hey, what do you want to do when you get that diploma in hand? First step. We don't know how long that first chapter is going to be, right? But let's get after that first chapter.
Yeah, that makes sense, and that kind of minimizes it and decreases anxiety. I love that. Yeah. So just kind of to pull it all together, why did you want to become a career advisor at Bellisario?
It's a great question. Yeah, I can't say that this was my life's goal. I started off in broadcasting and moved away from it when I started teaching part-time in the college, and just got a kick of working with students. And the college wanted to put more of an emphasis on the internship and career front. This is the late 90s, 1999. And it was actually my wife who talked me into the role and said, you'd be great at this. And I wanted to continue on with my broadcasting career in New York City. And she's like, this could be a good place. And I think she had it in her mind, hey, this is a great place to raise kids, good old Happy Valley. So here I am 23 years later, and I think I've got one of the coolest jobs around.
Awesome. I know we all love you at Bellisario, and I would love to talk more about this, but that is all the time we have for today's segment.
That's it.
Thank you so much for coming on our show and sharing your tips and experience. We really appreciate it. For Nittany Talk, I'm Simone Skinner, and we'll see you next time.